All right. All right. We got it now. Never mind. I figured it out. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And oh, we got a lot of things to talk about. We really do. So, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be a very, very interesting one. So, with that being said, we are going to get into this and we're going to get into it here very shortly. So, and to the people on YouTube, there's going to be, you'll find out what I mean by are the meltdowns happening yet? So, let's get this thing started. All right, let's get into this. Oh, yeah. Democrats confirm abortion extremism by blocking protections for babies born alive after botched abortions. What the? And they wonder why people have a tough time with all this. They wonder why people say they are extreme with this. The thing about it, it's very telling to me that this is what they want. Many of the same senators who voted against the Born Alive bill on Wednesday proudly filibustered it in 2020. Yeah. Yeah. This is the type of people we're dealing with. It it's very telling that these people Democrats have tried to pretend they are not the party of abortion extremism. The rhetoric and voting records are in common sense and popular protections for women and babies, however, confirm they support ending life up until and even through birth. Uh, the most recent display of this radicalism occurred on Wednesday, the 52nd anniversary of Roe versus Wade, when all 47 Democrats in the U.S. Senate voted to block a bill that seeks to criminalize leaving babies born alive during botched abortions to die. The Blue Party's unanimous rejection of the legislation hampered Republicans from invoking the 60 vote cloture minimum needed to overcome a filibuster. The thing about it, they want people to just bow down to them. That's exactly what they want. They want people just to bow down to their own extremes, and they don't even realize that a lot of us are just fed up with all the bullshit. A lot of us are fed up with this bullshit. And I just don't know. I really don't. I I wish I did. I wish I did know why. And they wonder why things happen. This is why. People don't care about a life. The Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, reintroduced earlier this month by Republican Senators John Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, James Langford of Oklahoma, and Jim Banks of Indiana aim to require healthcare workers who witnesses a baby's survival after attempted dismemberment or chemical abortion to immediately rescue and medically treat the child just as they would any other prematurely delivered newborn patient. Yeah, let's continue. We got more. Goonies legend slams California Democratic leadership, reveals why he left. Actor Robert Deavy, known for his roles in several iconic 1980s films, appeared on Fox Business Wednesday to express his frustration with the state of California under Democratic leadership.
Rainwater goes into the Pacific Ocean.
Pete Wilson in 1990 had a bill. The Democrats killed it. He was governor then. He wanted to build reservoirs to collect the rainwater. I think President Trump should do a national referendum on that. He should meet with maybe Schwarzenegger, who understood the environmental issues, not pretend he understood them like Newsom does for photo ops. They should build the reservoirs, collect the rainwater, even think about desalinization plants that in Saudi Arabia and other areas, they have high tech right there on the ocean. That Malibu coast you're talking about, Liz, that has 300 million, all that devastation. Imagine if there was desalinization plants, what they could use during the fire and find out how
That's
to
a great
do the
point.
offshoot.
And Robert, as well, you make a great point, too, that he was focused on doing things like fighting with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Well, just basically, California the fires are not over. They act like when, Gavin Newsom is going to see more fires coming down the road. But we want to get your reaction to President Trump and to also Speaker Johnson. Speaker Johnson says, yes, tie conditions to the aid for California. They got to be more accountable and stand up. Watch this.
We're going to be issuing an executive order demanding that they immediately let that water come down through California. Farmers, even people living in Beverly Hills, they wanted to restrict you to 38 gallons of water a day. That sounds like a lot, but it's not. When you're a rich person and you like to take a shower, 38 gallons doesn't last very long. And they have all this water, and it's really good water. Up high.
Yeah, we're talking about conditions to this disaster. Look, there are natural disasters, but there are man-made disasters as well, and they made terrible decisions. They knew exactly what they were doing. That reservoir outside Pacific Palisades, 117 million gallons, it was empty for a year. They made decisions that made that disaster exponentially worse, and this is what the American taxpayer is demanding of us everywhere else in the country.
Robert, what's your take on what you just heard?
It, again, something that is the frustration in the left. They don't solve problems, they create problems. When I was in California, as I said, 46 years, we left 3 years ago, you had to have, as the president said, President Trump said, 38 gallons. That wasn't just in Beverly Hills, that was in a lot of parts of California. You couldn't water your lawns. You couldn't do certain kind of irrigation because they were conserving. When all this rain, and I think there should be conditions. Absolutely. When you have
and they wonder why people don't trust them. This is why. It's stuff like this that they think people are going to let it happen. They think this is why all of this is just idiocracy, plain and simple.
A political body, as in California, that are basically run by the Democrats, that are not really taking care of that state, that beautiful state at one time, and have done policies in terms of crime, in terms of the environment, everything else. That has to be accountable. Also, the Hollywood community, I have to go back at that because they're so vocal on everything, Liz. They're so, except this, it's quiet. I still haven't heard a soundbite from Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert, or any of the Hollywood elites talking about Gavin Newsom has to be held accountable for what happened in California. And until they start stepping up and saying the truth to the people of California so they understand what the issues are, and I think there should be conditions, absolutely.
Well, thank God for Robert Dodd.
Yeah. And they wonder why. They wonder why. They wonder why people are getting so upset. Let's continue. Because we got more. Crowds emerge in House GOP over wildfire aid. California Republicans are pushing back against suggestions by President Donald Trump, House Speaker Mike Johnson, and other Republicans that federal disaster aid for victims of the wildfire ravage Southern California should come with strings attached, possibly jeopardizing the president's policy agenda in a deep divided Congress at the outset of his second term. With President Trump planning to visit fire-ravaged state this week, resistance from even a few House members to his efforts to put conditions on disaster aid could further complicate an already fraught relationship between reliably liberal California and the second Trump administration. Several Republicans who nearly won California House seats in November have expressed dismay that the state relief could be hitched to demands in exchange for helping the thousands of Californians in their districts still reeling from this month's disaster. Huh. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Now, to the people on YouTube, this is why I'm asking the question. Have the meltdown started yet? AOC calls on public to disobey Trump's executive orders. Don't listen. Far left rep Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, has called on her millions of followers not to take President Donald Trump's executive orders seriously, urging them to not listen. Trump signed executive orders ending DIE, fixing the border and withdrawing from the World Health.
And one of the most simple things that we can do is just not comply. This today, the Trump administration, and also last night, the Trump administration signed a bunch of illegal executive orders. For example, Donald Trump tried to sign an executive order to end birthright citizenship in this country, which is part of the Constitution. It is day one already trying to shred the foundational documents of American society and try to end birthright citizenship, which
AAC. So if the 14th Amendment gives us birthright citizenship, wouldn't that mean the Second Amendment restricts what can be done to a pew? Almost like you do not.
Basically, as we know, if you are born in the United States, you are a United States citizen. That remains. That is the law. That is the Constitution. And he just tried to sign a piece of paper trying to say no. We don't have to listen to him. It's illegal. We don't have to treat this seriously. It's a joke. And that's not to say that what they're trying to do isn't serious. It is serious, but we should not consent in advance.
We should not consent in advance. All right. If you say so. But yeah, let's continue. We got more. Yeah. DeSantis epically schools reported for calling illegals undocumented. Yes, the meltdowns have started. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis just showed exactly why he's one of the most unapologetic and effective leaders in the nation. In a recent press briefing, DeSantis schooled a reporter for using the misleading and euphemistic term undocumented to describe illegal immigrants. It was a masterclass in setting the record straight.
News Channel 4 here in Jacksonville. I just have 4 questions. One, Florida is home to hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants who are working in areas.
Well, so the federal government has made clear that the statutory term, it's not they're illegal aliens. That's the statutory term. That's what it is. And I think it's to try to water down. I mean, like, undocumented, it's like if I get in my car and I forget my wallet, okay, I don't have my document on me, like my driver's license, but I mean, I still have a right to drive. I just made a mistake. This is intentional to come in illegally. And it's not just a question of missing a document. It's a question of, you violated the law that were very clear and knowingly, and with the help of the cartels in many cases.
So I'll rephrase that. So Florida is home to hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants who are illegal aliens, if you want to call it, who are working in areas of agriculture, farming, construction, hospitality. I'm just wondering, once we start to see, the significant roundups of these people, is there a plan in place to help those industries, to prevent those industries from experiencing true hardship, financial hardship?
So here's what I'd say. They made the same arguments in 23 when we did our immigration. Cayenne wrote, we did E-Verify. When any of those industries, when they hire new people, they've got to verify their immigration status. Otherwise, they can't work. And people said, you are not going to be able to.
Uh-oh. They don't like that people are starting to realize what's really going on here. Yeah. Yeah, they don't like that people are. They don't like this. They really don't. And it's fun to watch it. It really is fun to watch these people not get what they want because of all of this. Let's continue. And here we go. Deportation flights have begun as Trump sends strong and clear message. White House says the deportation flights, Trump is sending a strong and clear message to the entire world. Uh-oh. Let's go to Fox and to Caroline Levitt.
Meantime, President Trump's immigration crackdown is ramping up, with ICE arresting over 530 illegal migrants just yesterday, including child sex offenders, 4 Tren de Aragua gang members, and a suspected terrorist. Some of these raids occurred in Buffalo, New York, St. Paul, Minnesota, San Francisco, Chicago, and Newark, New Jersey. ICE also arresting multiple MS-13 gang members, rape suspects, and murder suspects in Boston earlier this week. White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt saying, quote, the largest massive deportation operation in history is well underway. Promises made, promises kept. Let's bring in Gen Z political commentator Morgan McMichael. Morgan, great to have you on the program. What's the Gen Z reaction to a president actually keeping his promises and, Morgan, so soon into his term?
I was going to say, we are 1 week into the Trump administration, and he has kept the promises. We are getting these violent criminals, illegal immigrants off of our streets and keeping Americans safe. I recently saw that the mayor in Boston does not want to cooperate with the administration, and I really think that she is doing a disservice to the American people. This is what justice for Laken Riley and every other American who has been assaulted and attacked on American soil by these illegal immigrants looks like. And I think we needed to continue to disincentivize illegal immigration. You know, we shut down the CBP One app this week. We need to continue to support the Remain in Mexico policy that has been reinstated and continue to allow the mass deportation effort to take place in America.
So how does this play with Gen Zers who, quite frankly, throughout much, if not all of their lives, really haven't been used to presidents and political leaders in both parties actually keeping the promises they make on the campaign trail?
Sure. You know what? I think that Gen Z is sick and tired of being lied to. So for the first time, they will actually see a truthful president come into play here and keep those promises that he is making. And when you look at Gen Z, you know, they care a lot about illegal immigration and how it is impacting their day-to-day lives. They care about inflation. And so they're going to start to see their lives get a lot better over the next 4 years after the last 4 years of decay in America.
There's one clip making the rounds that encapsulates the illegal immigration discussion over the past decade. Watch.
I'm not going back to Haiti. Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
An F word to Trump, giving shout outs to Biden and Obama. That is a Haitian gang member with 18 convictions under his belt, Morgan.
It's absolutely insane that we are seeing these illegal immigrants have.
These people just don't, I don't think they really understand. They really don't understand that they're in for a rude awakening. They really are. It's funny to me that they thought they'd be able to stay here forever. It's funny to me that they thought that that Donald Trump was not going to do this. It's funny to me that these people just don't realize they are pretty much at the end of the road. They're pretty much at the end of the road. They really are. And it's just funny when you come to understand what it's really about. When you come to understand what it's really about, these people do not like the fact that they're being held accountable for what they've done. Coming to this country illegally doesn't give you the right to tell us what we can and cannot do.
Such an entitlement problem that they feel like that they can come into our country, breaking our laws, be a part of these gangs, and be violent criminals. And then they're thanking the former presidents for the decay and the destruction that they have caused in America. Over 8 million illegal immigrants have come into our country in the last 4 years, and now it's going to take the next 4 years to clean up the mess.
Finally, New York Magazine reporting that Kamala Harris is reportedly consulting Hillary Clinton about her political future. Should Kamala be getting life advice from some?
That one we'll leave alone. We're going to leave that one alone because we'll get into that here in a little bit. Yeah, we'll get into that one here in a little bit. All right, let's get into this. Wyoming school vows to shield illegal immigrants. Superintendent says district will keep information from ICE. Wonder why. Wonder why they want this. These people are so idiotic, it's not even funny. They are so idiotic, it's not even funny anymore. I mean, why is it they don't, do they not understand that we're watching? Do they not understand that we're all watching them? because we are. We're all watching what goes on. Because I don't think they realize. I don't think they realize how much of a difference we're actually going to make. Officials out of Wyoming public schools want to assure parents they're maintaining a secure environment for illegal immigrants amid the largest deportation operation in U.S. history. In a family communication sent to parents in both English and Spanish on Wednesday, WPS Superintendent Greg Holska weighed in on the immense responsibility of caring for, protecting, and supporting your children to the best of our ability while they are in our care. Well, the thing with all of it, keep coming after it. Keep doing it. Keep doing this. Because this is why they do not understand what they have. They don't understand that they are about to get their butts handed to them. They don't understand that. It's funny to me that they thought we were all blind to this. No, we're not blind to it. No, we're not blind to this, but we will make sure you guys know what we want. Because it's very telling that they don't realize what's happening. They don't realize. They just don't realize what they're getting themselves into. Because it is funny. It is very funny for these people to be doing this. But let's continue. We got more. Now, this is something I'll go over at a later date. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be very interesting. Because I don't think they realize that a lot of us are just sitting back waiting. The Alien Enemies Act of 1798, an explainer of law Trump may invoke. The law allows the government to detain or remove foreign nationals without a hearing in times of war or invasion. Uh-oh. I guess liberals will not be happy with this one. Liberals are not going to be very happy. It's interesting for this to happen. Donald Trump may dust off a centuries-old law to expedite the deportation of foreign national gangs and cartel members to help secure the U.S. border. On the campaign trail, Trump pledged to invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. The Alien Enemies Act is part of a larger Alien and Sedition Act, which Congress enacted during John Adams' presidency when the United States was on the brink of war with France. It was sweeping law that, when invoked, grants the president extraordinary power. On his first day in office, Trump signed 10 border-related executive actions. including an executive order that states that the president may invoke the Alien Enemies Act to stop any invasion or predatory incursion against the territory of the United States by qualifying actor. Oh, yes. Now, do you understand why the man did something? There's reasons behind all the things that's happening. Trump's set to deploy 10,000 active duty troops to southern border. Uh-oh. Donald Trump is making good on his promise to secure the nation's southern border. In his inauguration speech, he declared that illegal immigration was a national emergency. Now he is sending 1,500 active duty Marines to the border and put on an additional 10,000 service members on alert. Acting Direct Secretary of Defense Robert Salalis that the troops will be flying helicopters to assist Border Patrol agents, as the military will also supply aircraft for the Department of Homeland Security to fly detained illegal immigrants out of the country. As part of Trump's efforts to secure the border, he issued an executive order that suspends the physical entry of aliens engaged in an invasion of the United States through the southern border. Now, do you understand what's going on, people? And yes, I am taking my time because I have nothing else today other than this, because I am taking me some time off. ICE agents. ICE arrest irate Haitian gang member Unaliver and SA suspect in Boston. F Trump, Biden forever. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And they wonder why. They wonder why this is why the American people want this to happen. This is why.
Good morning, everyone.
It's a frigid 5 degrees in the pre-dawn hours just outside of Boston, where this team of elite ICE officers is briefing on their targets for the day.
We're going to be targeting some extremely violent offenders today.
Within moments, the officers are on the move, with eyes on their first target.
Looks like we got movement, target vehicle coming out.
They quickly take him into custody. He's an MS-13 gang member wanted in El Salvador for aggravated murder. And he has an Interpol red notice out for his arrest.
We are targeting very violent threats to our community.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Yo, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
And guys, shortly after we finished filming, ICE Boston told us they arrested 2 more targets in other parts of town away from our cameras. One of those targets is a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested for raping a woman while putting a gun in her mouth. The other target they got is a Haitian man who first flew into the United States in 2023 as part of President Biden's controversial migrant flights mass parole program. Well, they just picked him up yesterday because he's been arrested locally for sexual assault.
President-elect Donald Trump.
Now do you understand? These people, the thing about it, they don't want this to happen. The liberal cities and states do not want this to happen for one simple fact. Let's say over the next 4 years, Donald Trump removes, let's say there's 1 million every year. So 4 million over the next 4 years. That's almost 750. That's almost 5 or 6 different seats in Congress and into the Electoral College. Let's continue. Maybe they should go to Cincinnati. Illegal aliens caught red-handed on police body cam after robbing Joe Burrow's home. Oh, for crying out loud. Video evidence has surfaced online showing the Ohio State Patrol arresting 4 Chilean nationals following the burglary of Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's home. The incident took place on December 9, 2024, while Burrow was away in Dallas playing against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Oh, yeah.
So this is an intriguing story and development. You got 4 suspects in Ohio now under arrest in connection to the burglary at the home of Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. All of them are Chilean nationals here in the U.S. illegally. For more, Alexis McAdams is to report on this now. What you find out, Alexis?
Well, like you said, I think a lot of people were wondering when there was going to be an arrest in this case. It took about a month, but the Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow was on the field. He wasn't even at his house when police say 4 migrants broke into his home. And now those men, originally from Chile, are behind bars. Police say this is the group, okay, part of a South American gang. They range in age from
I wonder if
22 to 38 years old. Those are their mugshots. The 4 are now facing burglary charges after police pulled them over earlier this month and found some of Burrow's things that were stolen from his house. Like what? Well, an old LSU shirt and a Bengals hat. On December 9th, during Monday Night Football, police responded to Burrow's home. Listen to this.
You do have a shattered window into the bedroom. The bedroom has been ransacked.
Yeah, ransacked, things were taken, and they walked right out of that house. It wasn't just the Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's house in Cincinnati, Ohio. The Ohio Attorney General says these men are behind a string of burglaries targeting multi-million-dollar homes. So what's their alibi? Well, the migrants told police they were in Ohio to see the snow. But investigators say one of their cell phones pinged a cell tower right in Burrow's neighborhood, showing they were in the area at the time of burglary. So try to get out of that. Burrow says it's not just about what was taken. So the NFL did issue a security alert back in November telling their athletes that an organized and skilled criminal ring was targeting their houses because they knew when they'd be out of town because they could watch them on TV. After this, both Kansas City Chiefs stars Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce had their homes burglarized just a month earlier. So
No arrests in Kansas City so far, right?
No arrests in Kansas City.
I was reading about this. There are multiple.
They wonder why people are why people are so freaking upset with all of this. All right, let's continue. Mass deportation underway. Under Trump escalates, multiple agencies now involved. Uh-oh.
This afternoon, NBC 10 saw multiple unmarked SUVs here. 5 people, some wearing vests that said police federal agents on the back, went inside one of the apartment buildings. 2 agents waited outside, 1 person taken into custody that we saw. Whether this is connected to President Trump's effort to root out illegal immigrants, something he has promised to do, is unknown. We also saw federal agents at a building on Lexington Street, also here in East Boston. A witness there told us she saw 1 person arrested. There's roughly 11 million undocumented people around the country. President Trump has said the priority is finding and deporting those with criminal backgrounds.
Uh-oh. This is a game changer.
Absolutely. Look, the greatest president in my lifetime, he's back. Because in 2 days, the last 24 hours, total apprehensions on the southwest border, 766. Compare that to the 10 to 12,000 Biden had at one time. CBP-1 releases, 0. CHNV, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela releases, 0. Total of 766 across the entire southwest border. That is a game changer.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The initial immigration raids have already arrested and removed some of the most vicious criminals in this country, including child pornography cases, homicide cases, sexual assault, attacks on children. And this is just the very beginning in the effort to liberate this country from the migrant criminal threat. In the coming days, you're going to see a massive scale up in enforcement activities all across the country to dismantle these criminal networks. So not only is it going to be ICE engaging these raids, but also they're going to have support from their law enforcement partners in FBI, ATF, DEA, and U.S. Marshals. We're going to leverage the full power of federal law enforcement at President Trump's command and direction to save this country from this occupation. You're also going to see, as you mentioned, the Department of Justice pursuing civil and, if necessary, criminal charges against anybody who shelters or harbors criminal aliens. That includes individuals in sanctuary cities who are harboring violent and dangerous criminals from federal law enforcement. The tables have turned, and now those who protect criminal aliens are going to face the legal consequences that exist in statute. And at the border, as you've mentioned, the military is en route. They are mobilizing active duty, National Guard, as well as a massive effort to engage in military construction along the southern border to impede and deny the entry of illegal aliens and to send anyone who crosses home, or if they've engaged in criminal activity, they also may face significant criminal prosecution. So every instrument, every lever of federal power is being deployed to crush the cartels, dismantle the gangs, seal off the border, halt the invasion, and send the illegals home.
I wonder when these people are going to realize this is what we want. We want these people gone. If you're here illegally, get ready to believe it, because it is very telling, everything going on. Now, let's continue. Something other than the southern border and the apprehension of illegal aliens. Trump signs order to declassify files on JFK, RFK, and MLK. That's all the cases now. Assassinations. Trump promised to declassify previously classified documents during his 2024 campaign. And here we go.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
President Trump on Thursday signed an executive order to declassify files on the assassinations of President Robert F. Kennedy Jr., his brother John F. Kennedy Jr., his brother Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr. Trump had promised everything will be revealed, Trump said. The thing about it, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. All right, let's continue with more Trump stuff. Trump enforces one flag policy across all U.S. embassies, bans LGBTQ and BLM flags. Uh-oh. Trump has ordered all American embassies worldwide to enforce a one flag policy and pull down LGBTQ plus and Black Lives Matter flags, the Washington Free Beacon reports. The order is part of Trump's effort to roll back all Biden administration's woke, progressive, and leftist policies, including diversity, inclusion, and equity gibberish. Starting immediately, the United States of America flag is authorized to be flown or displayed at U.S. facilities, both domestic and abroad, and featured in the U.S. government's content. States an order signed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Let's continue. This is a good thing. This is a very, very good thing, in my opinion. Just my opinion. You guys can disagree. But yeah. President Trump pardons over 20 pro-life activists targeted by Biden DOJ. President Donald Trump pardoned more than 20 pro-life activists on Thursday who were prosecuted and some imprisoned by Biden's Department of Justice. 23 people were prosecuted. They should have never been prosecuted. Here we
Next,
go.
we have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this. They'll be very happy. So they're all in prison now.
Some are out of custody.
It's ridiculous.
All right, let's continue. We got more. Rubio overhauls State Department under Trump. Common sense in America first. Secretary of State Marco Rubio sent a memo to every U.S. diplomatic and consular post this week declaring his America first and common sense approach to diplomacy, a stark contrast to the previous Biden administration. The former U.S. Senator, now head of President Donald Trump's diplomatic corps, is now redefining America's approach to foreign policy. The memo reads, Our department will take the lead in revitalizing alliances and strengthening ties with our partners and allies and countering the malign activities of our adversaries. We will refocus American foreign policy on the realities of today's re-emerging great power rivalry. They wonder why people are getting upset. But let's continue. U.S. Coast Guard begins calling the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. The U.S. Coast Guard has started calling the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America shortly after President Donald Trump signed an executive order to begin changing the name. The Coast Guard earlier this week announced it would be deploying assets to different locations, including to the maritime border between Texas and Mexico and the Gulf of Mexico, according to the Hill newspaper. It will likely take the Department of Interior time to change the name formally. All right. Let's continue. Trump signed sweeping cryptocurrency executive order. The order will revoke existing executive guidance on digital currency, establish a presidential task force, and ban central banks from issuing tokens. Uh-oh. President Donald Trump issued an executive order banning so-called central bank digital currency, or CBDC, and establishing an executive group to examine the future of digital assets in the United States. This is a good thing. On January 23rd, as part of the flurry of orders the White House has issued since his inauguration on January 20th, Trump signed an order titled Strengthening American Leadership in Digital Financing Technology. The 1,300-page executive order said it would promote United States leadership in digital assets and financial technology while protecting economic liberty. The thing with the CBDC, and I'm going to say this, the thing with this, they do not want us watching that because they know that it would not be a good thing for them to get into. They know that they are on a thread with all of this. And it's interesting that it's happening. It's interesting that all of this is happening because it shows that they really don't care about the American people. Just saying. They really do not care about the American people because with this, it saves people a lot of headache for what's about to come. All right, let's continue. We got more. Trump executive order to ban funding for research that may have led to 2020. Yeah. They wonder why. The research that may have led to 2020 and could have gotten former National Institute of Health and Infectious Disease Director Dr. Anthony Fauci prosecuted for lying to Congress without his last-minute preemptive pardon would reportedly be subject to a funding ban under a new executive order from President Donald Trump. People familiar with the plans told the Wall Street Journal the order would prohibit federally funded scientists from conducting GOF research on viruses that could threaten humans, but one of them said it might exempt viruses, including H5N1 bird flu. Huh. That's interesting. That is very interesting. All right, let's continue. There's a reason why I'm showing this. And yes, I know I did this yesterday. Trump to Davos elite invest in the U.S. or face tariffs. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. President Donald Trump used an address Thursday to the World Economic Forum to promise global elites lower taxes if they bring manufacturing to the U.S. and threaten to impose tariffs if they don't. Speaking by video from the White House to the annual summit in Davos, Switzerland, on his third full day in office, Trump ran through his flurry of executive actions since his swearing in, citing his massive mandate from the American people to bring change. He's laid out a carrot and stick approach for private investments in the U.S. I wonder why. All right. Last one for YouTube. This is the last one for YouTube. Watch. Javier Milei goes nuclear at the WEF, calls out PDFs, says Davos is crumbling. Davos is crumbling.
A year ago, I stood here before you alone and spoke some truths about the state of the Western world that were met with some surprise and astonishment by much of the political, economic, and media establishment of the West. And I must admit that in a way I understand it. A president from a country that, as a result of systematic economic failure for more than 100 years, as a result of having the country taken weak stances in major global conflicts, and as a result of us having closed ourselves off to trade, we had lost practically all international significance over the years. A president of such a country stood on this stage and told the entire world that they were wrong, that they were headed for failure, that the West had gone astray, and that it needed to be redirected. The president of that country, Argentina, who was not a politician, who had no legislative support, no backing from governors, business leaders, or media groups. In that speech, here, standing before you, I told you it was the beginning of a new Argentina, that Argentina had been infected with socialism for far too long, and that with us it would once again embrace.
The thing about it, that's going to happen worldwide, in my honest opinion. A lot of this is going to happen worldwide because people see it for what it is.
Embrace the ideas of freedom, a model that we summarize as the defense of life, liberty, and private property. And I also told you that, in a way, Argentina was the ghost of Western Christmases yet to come, because we had already experienced everything you were going through, and we already knew how it would end. A year later, I must say that I no longer feel so alone. I don't feel alone because the world has embraced Argentina. Argentina has become a global example of fiscal responsibility, of commitment to honoring our obligations, and obviously a commitment to solve the inflation problem. Also, we are an example of a new way of doing politics, which is about telling people the truth to their faces and trusting that they will understand. Nor do I feel alone, because over the course of this year, I have found allies in this fight for the ideas of freedom in every corner of the world. From the amazing Elon Musk to that fierce Italian lady, my dear Giorgia Meloni. From Bukele in El Salvador to Viktor Orban in Hungary. From Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel to Donald Trump in the United States. Slowly, an international alliance has been forming among all those nations which, like ours, want to be free and believe in the ideas of liberty. And slowly, what once seemed like the absolute global hegemony of the woke left in politics, education.
This man is speaking the truth. This man is telling them they're not going to win this. They're not going to win at this moment in time because too many people are seeing right through this.
Educational institutions, in the media, in supranational organizations, or even in forums like Davos, has begun to crumble. And a hope for the ideas of freedom is starting to emerge. Wokeism has penetrated our societies so deeply, promoted by institutions like this one, that it has even...
The thing with all of this, they do not like that people are seeing through the plans. They don't like this. They really don't like what's going on. But it is very telling to me that these people might not like it, but they can't stop it. They cannot stop it. People are coming to the populist movement. All right, to everybody on YouTube, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. To the people on Rumble, I will be with you very shortly. I have something I have to do while I'm waiting to... So give me a few minutes and I will be right back, but we will continue here in a moment for with more of The Daily Show.